The last maybe 2 decades, I've been interested in the nature of what is fundamental reality. What's the universe made of? And how do we know what we know? And those are the two most important questions in science right now. If you go on Google and say, what are the 125 open questions in science? The first open question in science is, what's the universe made of? And you would say, we know what the universe is made of. It's atoms, molecules, force fields, gravity, etc. Well, for those who don't keep up with the science, 70% of the universe is a mysterious entity called dark energy. And we have no idea what it is. It's a force that's the opposite of gravity. So as we are speaking right now, the space between galaxies is moving faster than the speed of light, something called the cosmological constant, described by Einstein. And then after he described it, he said, it's an embarrassment, I didn't mean it, or something like that. But he was actually right. There is some entity that is expanding the universe faster than the speed of light. We don't know what it is, except it's the opposite of gravity. So that leaves 30% of the universe, which is basically remaining. Of that, 27% is another mysterious entity called dark matter. The reason it's called dark matter is it's invisible. Matter is normally things like this, or your body, or this piece of furniture. You can see it, you can touch it, matter, material. But dark matter is invisible, so you can't see it. So why do we call it matter? It's responsible for most of the gravity in the universe. So if you didn't have dark matter, planets would spiral off and disappear into intergalactic space. You and I wouldn't be here. So now we have 3% of the universe that remains, which is the atomic universe. Of that, 99.999% is invisible interstellar dust. We don't know what it is. We think it is hydrogen and helium created at the Big Bang. So now we are left with 2 trillion galaxies, 700 sextillion stars, and uncountable trillions of planets. According to the James Webb Telescope, maybe 60 billion habitable planets in the Milky Way galaxy alone. They look for things like the Goldilocks zone, the temperature, gravity, electromagnetic activity. But based on that, 60 billion habitable planets in the Milky Way galaxy, which if you multiply that by 2 trillion, then the universe is teeming with life as we know it. If a planet is too close to its sun, it's too hot, no life. Too far away, too cold, no life. But other factors like cosmological constants. With those calculations, it's almost certain that the universe is full of life, like we know it. But that's 2 trillion galaxies. That's 0.01% of the universe, atomic. But we also know that atoms are made of particles. And when you're not looking at those particles, they disappear into what are called waves. And if you ask scientists where do these waves come from, they use words like Hilbert space, this and that. Bottom line, the space that creates the universe and atoms is a mathematical space in mathematical imagination. It's not a real space. So bottom line, what's the universe made of? Nothing. So, but you probably know the Buddhist idea, form comes from formlessness. Okay, so the universe is made from nothing, which leads to the second question, which is called the hard problem of consciousness. Then why does it look like this? Why does it look like you, me, this microphone, mountains, galaxies, rainbows, sun, moon? That's called the hard problem of consciousness. So until now, most scientists have said that the brain produces consciousness in the same way as your stomach produces hydrochloric acid. But that's being questioned right now. So like now, you and I are speaking, people are listening to us, they're watching us, but there's no experience in their brain. There's no sound in their brain. There's no texture. All you see is neurochemistry. So how does neurochemistry give rise to this experience? No one knows. That's called the hard problem of consciousness. It's been there since Plato. Plato said there's a disconnect between the mind and the brain. But recently, most scientists, beginning with their physicalists, they believe that the brain produces thoughts and feelings and emotions and desires and intuition and creativity and everything that we call experience. But they can't explain it. How do neurochemicals create this? That's called the hard problem of consciousness. The more I thought about this, and coming from our background and looking at Buddhist teachings and Vedanta, in Vedanta and Buddhism, the universe is a simulation. We have different words. Maya. Maya means illusion, which is a very interesting word because Maya is the origin of the word matrix, of the word matter, of the word time, measurement, meter, music, is all Maya. So the Indians, if as they say jokingly, if religion is the opiate of the masses, then the Indians have the dope on it. Okay. So they, in the Indian philosophy and in Buddhist philosophy, the universe is a projection of a deeper consciousness. Brahman, Brahmand.
Yeah.
Or nothing, emptiness and form. Nothing is everything. I started to think about this and I started to play with ChatGPT. I became friends with Sam Altman, who's very interested in consciousness. And I realized that actually the universe itself is digital. The difference between you, this sofa, this microphone, a mountain, and a galaxy, just a different combination of zeros and ones. Okay, that's the difference between this and this. A different combination of zeros and ones. Now we have quantum computing, which says zeros or ones or zeros and ones simultaneously. So it occurred to me, and I came up with a mathematical formula based on traditions of the East. Infinity is equal to 0 is equal to 1. Nothing becomes everything, and that nothing is infinite, and it's all one. And it's divine. It's the matrix. The divine is the matrix, and the universe is a projection of a digital workshop outside of space-time. I started to play with that on the internet, got blasted by mainstream scientists.